Hello lovelies, Lesley. Not quite enough pictures, all will become clear. How are we all? I hope everyone's okay. Thank you for your, excuse me, bless you Heidi. Thank you for all your comments and thoughts on last week's vlog and on the podcast. I always love to hear from you, as you know. Oh, she's just going to be noisy, isn't she? Are you going to settle? Hope everyone's well. It's Wednesday evening, 9:15 as I record this. Had some stuff to do, so I couldn't do online knitting tonight, but I should do sitting in my chair chatting to you lovelies, crocheting instead. And tell you about my week. So Friday, I had the absolute delight of meeting Susan, who is a Zoom regular and watcher of the podcast. Hi Susan. And her friend Jane, who are in the UK. Jane was here on a conference, Susan came with her, and they had a lovely trip. They'd spent time in the Cotswolds, they'd done trips around London, so they're having a good time. And on their final day, they came down to sunny Sussex. I don't know what's up with Heidi. She's now deciding to crawl into the sofa cushions for some reason. And now we're possibly going to have the zoomies, but we'll see. Yeah, so Susan and Jane came down to Sussex. They caught the train from London down to my nearest gaff. And we had lovely weather. We were very fortunate with the weather. So we went and had some lunch in a pub. We were able to sit outside because the weather was so good. And we had a bit of a walk around. During our conversation, it transpired that Jane was a fan of Foyle's War. And that's set in Hastings, which is where we were. So took them to see the Foyle's War house. Susan hadn't seen the show, so didn't mean quite as much to her, but it's okay. And Susan had wanted to see an old church. She likes to visit old churches when she's travelling. And so I took her to the one in Hastings Old Town, which was rebuilt in 1380, I think they said. So fairly old, yeah. So we had a little look around there. And then we went and had a cup of tea. Well, I had tea. They had water, iced coffee, whatever they wanted. And then they caught the train back to London. So really lovely afternoon with them. And I took 0 pictures. When I meet people like that, I get a bit self-conscious about taking photographs. As if I only want to meet them for content. You know, it's just... So anyway, I didn't take any. But it was a very lovely afternoon and enjoyed their company very much. So thank you Susan, thank you Jane for coming to the seaside. That was in the afternoon. Then in the evening I was out again. Oh, it's nothing but beer and Skittles for me at the moment. I'm in a group of friends which we call the writers because we met on a writing course some years ago. A couple of the people in the group still write. The rest of us, some of us write within our work, as I do, but we're not writers in the sense that they are. But we went to meet at one of the members' houses. She's recently moved house, so I was having a good look at her new place and her fabulous garden, which has views of the sea from the top of her garden. It's quite high up in the town. Views of the sea, really nice place. They've been working incredibly hard. The garden had previously had a big pond in it, and they've taken that out. They've put in a vegetable patch, they've put in some fruit trees. You know, there's lots going on. I think they're looking to be as self-sufficient as possible. So they will also look to have solar panels put on the roofs and that sort of thing. But yeah, really nice to see them. And oh, she cooked a mountain of food. It was just unbelievable. This food just kept coming out. Of course, I'd had lunch out, so I'd had a cooked meal in the middle of the day, so I wasn't sort of massively hungry. But even if you were, there was a lot of food. A lot of the group are vegetarians, so we tend to, when we get together, do a vegetarian menu. So she started off with like mozzarella and tomato salad with bread and peppers and olives, and then there were jacket potatoes, and there was a lentil pie and salad and a bean dish, and it just, corn on the cob, it just kept coming. It was just vast. And we said, and even her other half said to her, how many are coming? I said, well, I like cooking in my new kitchen. And, you know, it will get used, it will freeze, it won't go to waste. But it was just, she was saying, oh, start dishing up. So, she brought the platters out, and we'd start sharing stuff around, and then the next dish would come out, and then the next dish would come out. I'm like, we are only a few women, we can't eat this much food. But it was a lovely evening, lots of fun. So that was Friday, which was a very busy, very sociable, very nice day. Saturday went in the other direction because I had a wisdom tooth out. A few years ago I had one out on the other side, and I had that done under a general anaesthetic, but that was, the way it was growing was quite sort of complicated. This one, I'm not going to go all marathon man on you and go through all the details, but apparently they normally have 2 roots, but mine had 3. So additional numbing medication was required. He said, is that still sensitive? Very, I said as they peeled me off the ceiling. And there was drilling involved. It wasn't nice. It wasn't nice. It was a bank holiday weekend in the UK, and I kind of semi-purposely chose that Saturday because I knew I'd have 2 full days afterwards for recuperation. It's still a bit sore. I'm still taking some painkillers, and after an extraction you sometimes have a kind of nasty taste in the mouth. I've got that, but I'm rinsing regularly. I don't think I've got dry socket or anything like that. I think it's just a bit bruised because it was quite the extraction. So that was the rest of the weekend. So Sunday was a very low-key day here, and then Monday, apart from mowing the lawns, I don't think I did much else. So just kind of crafting and relaxing at home, and then back to work. So I've had ceremonies the last couple of days, and I have one tomorrow, and a visit tomorrow as well, and just plodding on with working. On the month-end podcast, for those of you who've seen it, I mentioned that my sister will be coming to visit in a couple of weeks' time, and that she is a painter and a photographer. And some of you were kind enough to ask for a glimpse of her work. So at the end of this vlog, I'll put a few pictures of some of her pictures. She tends to work in watercolours, so I will put a few of those on at the end of this so you can see that. Yeah, so the rest of this week is going to be kind of just plodding on more of the same. Excuse me. Saturday I am hoping to go to Eastbourne, which is a short train ride away from here. I mean, I could drive it, but where I'm going in Eastbourne is right by the railway station, so it makes sense to take the train. And I'm going to a very small fibre festival. It's one I've been to before. It's not the best of venues because it's in an old railway shed, and it's one of these places which has lots of kind of small shops in it, and they tend to be kind of less expensive rent, small business type shops, which is great. But their space for these kind of events, kind of festival events, are upstairs. And they are stairs, so not the most mobility friendly venue, but I'll go and have a look, and I will be having a look for potential prizes for the make-along, as that will be drawn at the end of this month. So yeah, I'll do that Saturday, and apart from that, just a sort of quiet weekend ahead, I think. So yeah, just sorting out stuff. The never-ending battle of trying to tidy my office. There's too much stuff in it. I mean, that's what the problem is. It would get tidy if there was space for everything. But yeah, so a bit of sort of tidying up on Sunday, I think. But mostly pottering around. And like I say, going to the Fibre Festival. I will try and remember to take photographs of that. Or video footage or something. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Excuse me. So that's my week. So really lovely to see Susan and Jane. Very much enjoyed their company. Just kind of chatting the whole time about all sorts of things, which was great. And they're safely back at home now. And I think they enjoyed their trip. And I think Jane enjoyed the conference as well. I think that was very worthwhile for her. So, yeah, that was great. And now onwards to the next week and the next month. So, Fibre Festival on Saturday, and then see how the mood takes me. It's nice to have freedom. Okay, my lovelies, this is probably going to be a one-shot vlog this week, because I have a visit tomorrow evening, which would be Thursday evening, and Friday morning I'm going up early. I'm taking a friend to the airport. Gatwick is about sort of hour and a quarter, hour and a half away from me, and a friend of mine is off on a trip, so I said I would take her to the airport. So that's pretty much it. Hope everyone's okay. Thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate your company. Thank you. And I hope that everyone's keeping well, that you're doing the things you enjoy. And I'll see you again soon. Thanks everyone. Bye bye.